So how to write a source code here? Just normal notepad you can use. Just open your notepad normal. You don't need anything, just normal notepad. And you need to put some instructions. So what is a code? So just put your instructions in a sequentially. And suppose I have opened a notepad. This is a notepad I have opened, for example. And I wrote in a Python print hello all. Okay. So now I need to save this one. This is a source code. I need to save it. Okay. Let's say I have given a name example .py. So py is the extension. So these extension is same as like in JavaScript. In JavaScript, we are using a .js. In Perl, we are using .pl, and Ruby, we are using a .rb. So these are the extensions. So this is a source code. I open just a notepad here and wrote the program and run it. Example.py using here. I will show you this one, cmd, and I just run this program. Example. Example.py. Okay, just I need to execute this program and it will print me I need to use a Python example.py. I can execute here, or I can double click on here. Suppose I wrote a program, I can, if suppose right now if I'm using a Windows, right, double click on it and it will execute the program. Or command line mode, I can use a Python and example.py. And if I'm using a Linux, so I need to use, if I'm in a Linux operating system, let's say I'm using a Linux operating system, so then I need to use a /example.py. And if I have set the environments, I hope who already worked on a Linux operating system, they are aware about a environmental variable. So if you have did a setup here, environmental variable of your shell path, so you can execute directly example.py directly, and it will print. Suppose I wrote here hello all, so it will print hello all. So simple source code here. So you can write a simple source code in a notepad also. So right now we are using some, so we'll discuss here to make a, we want to check right now, you are using, if you want to write a letter and sometime you are taking a help of some websites to check a spellings, and is there any grammatical issues or not. So that we have also here, that called a IDE. I will discuss later. I will come on that. IDE means integrated development environment. We'll discuss and these things as well also. And I will let you know how to install these IDE. And it's very good. So here we can easily, suppose if I'm writing a code in a notepad here, it's not easy to recognize your syntax error. Same as like I say, give an example of, I think in MS Word we have opened there, it's also showing us if we have wrote something, some word incorrect, right, incorrect. So it will give us a correction here, and we just right click, it will give an error here like a red color, and we can right click and we can correct the spelling there. So same as like it comes in a IDE. So it called a integrated development environments. We'll discuss these things also, but before that I need to clear some more things here. So let's discuss about here Python. So the history of a Python, actually who developed the Python, let's discuss about a history of a Python. So actually, it is a developed in late 1980s by Guido Van Rossum. Okay, late 1980s, and he wrote first interpreter. I will come on the what is interpreter. Interpreter. Interpreter in December 1989. Okay, I that was the Christmas holidays. So Christmas holidays holiday. So the Python name is inspired by Monty Python. So that is some history. So here, interpreter. So let's discuss about a now interpreter. So uh, we wrote a program here. We wrote a program here. Okay, source code. Okay, source code. So what we will do here? So you have already some people know C and C++. So what we are doing there? We wrote a source code, and what we are doing here? We are compile. Okay, so what we are doing? Compile machine code. Compile source code and machine code. It is the same example of a, if I given as a layman example, let's say you wrote some, forget this is source code. Now let's understand. You wrote some message in English language. Now, let's say it is a Chinese, need to convert message. So what it will do? It is a translator services. Let's say, now it's not a compiler. Let's understand, translate service. Suppose I'm using. So you wrote English message, you wrote here, but Chinese people get this message in his native language using a translate service. So this Chinese guy don't know the source code. So source code is a hidden for here. So he got here. So that is known as a compiler. There's a compile will do actually. So compile what it will do, high level language code convert to a low level code. Low level code. Your machine is understanding machine code. So that is a compiler actually do their job. So that is example of a, if I have given a compiler example, C and C++ languages, they are using the example of C and C++ languages. Now let's discuss about a interpreter. Interpret. So here also I'm writing a one message. Let's understand as a layman, then we'll understand. So you wrote some message in English message. Here, let's say you are the person here. There's a Chinese guy. Okay, so Chinese. So what it will do now? Here, this person, Chinese guy, take a help of his friend. So what did you sent a message here? You sent a message here. So this guy got the message and it gives to friend, and this friend as a friend, let's say understand as a friend, it will translate the line by line, line by line, line by line, line by line. That's actually interpreter is doing. So interpreter is this one. So it is interpret the code line by line, line by line. If you understand as a layman. So here, your high level code, let's say now in here, this is a low level code. It will convert. Who will convert? Interpreter. Line by line. Same as like if you given your friend, so how you will do there? You will speak one line, he will translate. Next line, you will speak your friend, translate in one line by line, not for him, line by line. Okay, so that is known as interpreter. Now, so Python is also known as the interpreter, but Python is combination of both. So interpreter language examples are your PHP and JavaScript. PHP and JavaScript. These are the examples of your. So low level language means machine code. Okay, so but Python is we call as a interpreter, and if you see the definition here, but the reality the behind is the combination of combo actually. So Python is a combo, so I can say combination of mostly it is code in a interpreter and compile also. So that is an example of a combination Java, C#, and Python. So Python use both a compiler and interpreter in its program. Interpreter Python is widely used throughout the computer programming and source code instruction. So here it is using the both. So that is the meaning of a interpreter and compiler. So now let's discuss about a source code. So I have show you the source code, and let me show you IDE. So IDE integrated development environment. So let me share my all screen first. How to write a source code. So let me write one source code here. So I'm writing one source code here, and hello all. Let's say I wrote some code here. I need to save this code, just simple notepad. I'm writing it here. I'm not using anything right now. IDE. I will let you know that. Okay, so right now let me save somewhere here. So let me save it where I can easily identify users. Okay, so here I will type it avc.py. I have given a extension here. So now here I have installed. Don't worry, I will let you know how to install a Python. So don't worry about that. Just I type here. I wrote some source code here. So here I am typing avc.py and run execute the program here. So now you can see it will give me here. Okay. Okay, now you can see this is output. Hello all, which we have printed here. Okay, I wrote this is source code. This is a source code, and here I have executed here. Now let's discuss about a IDE. IDE integrated development environments. Okay, so by default Python is giving you a default interpreter. So let me open one CMD. So I will let you know how to install a Python. We will learn these things as well also. So here, so I type here Python. Now this is an interpreter. Okay, so here, and let me open one more IDE here, CMD, and let me type ipython. So IDE is a similar, I say like that. Here you will get syntax error, or you can make a correction. He said, suppose if you wrote something in English and you are taking some third-party tools to correct your syntax or rules or your grammatical your errors, so they will make it auto correction. So same as like here. And let me open one Jupyter notebook that is a web based, and we have a uh, this is a default I have opened here, and a default Python having, and second ipython, third Jupyter notebook, spider, pycharm. Okay, so a lot of tools are available in a market, so a lot of competition in a market, but by default Python is giving this one. And if you want, you can install ipython. So now so here I have opened here. So here now you can see this is my default interpreter. It is my ipython. Default interpreter came by default. I have installed ipython. Don't worry, I will let you know how to install ipython. Don't worry. The difference is between here you will get more help than compared to here. Suppose I'm writing any code here, any print here, and I don't know what I'm typing here. I want to take help. I will try with the question mark and enter. It's giving me something like that. Let's come on the ipython here. First you will get in a color, and I'm typing same things here. Print is a function to print something, like we have print hello all. So here it will give me some description and some description here. I'm not getting here. So I don't like default interpreter. That's by default came when you are installing your Python. IPython, if suppose if you are using a Linux operating system command line mode, then use IPython. Then I would like to use IPython only on a Linux OS. Yes, there also you can install a Jupyter notebook. So in this entire journey, we will use a Jupyter here. Spider you can also use, but in mine the laptop having not a sufficient RAM, so it will make a hang actually. So that was the reason I'm not using, but that's like good also. So Jupyter notebook is provided by Google also. That is, I will let you know that one also. So there you can do a practice. Suppose in our operating system we don't have a sufficient RAM, then you can use there. I think approximately the RAM they are giving almost, I think 16 GB, I think. Okay, so they see here. Now I'm writing here print, and here now I have executed and I'm getting this help here. Okay, how we can use it? It's giving instruction here. Now let me print a hello world here directly on interpreter, directly on ID. Here earlier I wrote a code in a one file, source code wrote here and executed here, but now here I can take a help. Same I have given as the layman example. To if you want to correct your grammatically or your spelling check or something, same things here. Okay, to check all these things. So don't be confused. Hello. Let me do some mistake here. Let me end with the semicolon. Let's say, let me type with a @ here, invalid syntax. Okay, so it will say as invalid syntax. So I can check easily here. And here you can see the color the color schema is also here. Suppose I wrote here, and suppose I forget to make a end with a single quote because I have wrote this in a string here. I forget it. Let's say I enter it. So now it's giving me an idea. I'm doing something bad here. Now that you can see the color schema. Same as like we are when we are writing some letter in our word or a word, and you will get same as like C. So let me correct it. Now, how is it? So it helps us when we are writing a code. So we will do a practice here.